Welcome to Company Showcase, an advertising feature on HowStreet.com.
I'm Jim Goddard. My guest is Larry Reaugh, CEO and President of American Manganese. Welcome back to Company Showcase, Larry.
Thanks, Jim.
Larry, the company was at a very important conference last week. What was it and what happened?
Actually, we announced that last week, Jim, but the conference took place yesterday, and Zardos attended, by virtual means, and did a very excellent presentation on the company, and he was on a panel and did very well on that. We have a lot of responses that are very positive on his presentation. I think we had over 500 on the presentation and over close to 500 on the panel. So it was well received and very informative. Certainly, a lot of the shareholders liked it, and I'm hoping that it attracted a lot more interest into the company. So it's been a good week all around, Jim. We didn't put out a press release this week, but and everybody was expecting one. I could see it on the emails to me. Expect to have a release in such and such a time, but sometimes the timing isn't right for a release, and in this case, the release would be premature. We're waiting for results from labs outside of Chemetco. And but we'll hopefully have a release next week on that, and we'll move forward. Now, I've also received not a lot, but a few criticisms about insiders selling on the stock, and I just want to explain what an insider is. An insider is either the management in the company or the directors, and they've been with the company, the directors have been with the company for several years, certainly over 5, and, they've got, a lot of them have a lot of skin in the game, and the stock has, when they first became a director, the stock was at 2 cents, and since then it's moved up to a high of 2.86, and currently trading at about 1.23. So, yeah, they want to take some money off the table. I can't blame them. It's their shares. It's their money. And certainly I've taken a small amount off, but if you added it up to the volumes that we have, it's a very small percentage. But it's certainly jumped on by the predator traders, and the people that go to the bull boards for their due diligence should realize that some of this stuff is just to defame the company. They've been losing traction on what they could defame us with, so naturally they act like we're selling tens of millions of shares into the market, but that is not the truth. It's a small fraction, and if you wanted to look at the total overall, it would be less than 1%, and we've traded well over 1 billion shares in the last 4.5 years, so that's an insignificant amount, and why shouldn't they take some money off the table? They're not only directors and insiders, we're investors in our own stock, and we have belief in it. I've exercised some options, and I've also exercised some of my warrants, and I've increased my position by about 880,000 shares. I don't see that on the bull boards. And because some director has other situations that may involve raising money, maybe they want to get a new house or get a house, I don't know. But, suddenly they have a need for cash and they're going to sell a little bit of stock, and I can't blame them for that. And I don't think the shareholders should either, because maybe they're not sellers, but a lot of them are, because there's a lot of volume out there. And, why shouldn't the directors and management have the same opportunity that's presented to our regular shareholders? And so it really incenses me at times when I get these emails from people that follow the bull boards and, and are derogatory towards the company when they're reporting it to me. And, there certainly it's not justified. And what I'm trying to explain is there are several steps that have to go through. For example, if you had options, let's say your options were at 20 cents and you exercise them at $1. Well, immediately, according to the Canadian law, you have incurred a profit, or not a profit, a extra income of 50% of that total amount that you would have made. And that would be, say, out of $800,000, you owe the income tax $400,000. You may not have sold a share, but now all of a sudden you owe the income tax $400,000. Well, the smart money says you're going to sell enough stock to pay the income tax at least. You don't want to buy a share that bar something happening in the market tomorrow that knocks the stock way down when the tax bill arrives, and then all of a sudden you're looking at $400,000, and that may be less or more than the net value of the shares that you exercised. So, these are certain sort of restrictions. Options are not as great as people would think they are. They've introduced laws that have prohibited the upside of having options, and a lot of our directors are open to liability. They're open to all kinds of things that if management screws up, that they could be sued for, and we expect them not to take some money off the table now and then. So I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying this is just the way it works, and we should not criticize management. We've taken this company a long ways from 2 cents to as high as $2.80, and we've developed a process that is very strong. And when I say that, nobody else can use it. I get all kinds of stuff again from the bull boards that say the patents are no good and everything. Well, wow, I'm sorry to say that I read about 20 patents a day that are issued on batteries, and those patents are filed by some of the biggest companies in the world. So obviously they believe in patent protection. So do I. And that's patent protection and I talked about that last week, that is required. Now on the plus side, you just keep reading more and more and more about more gigafactories going in, and I have to say congratulations to Shailesh Reddy for his plant that's going in New York State, and he's finally got the final financing to build the first plant, or at least to build the first phase of the plant and have it operational. And I say congratulations, Shailesh. I mean, that was a tough fight because it was several $100 million that had to be raised just for that first plant. And now he's got it. He's got the money, and he's building his plant. And congratulations. I mean, we have some excellent people on our advisory board. Shailesh is on our advisory board, has been for a number of years, and I hope to see him have great success in what he's doing. I mean, I know it's been a struggle to get the money, and it's not like it's easy. When you announce a plant, everybody thinks, oh, yeah, it's easy. But it's not. It takes time and effort to convince the world that you've got the goods. Now, we've got a core group of shareholders that are convinced that we have the goods because they follow every release. They go to the site, they look at it, they look at our flow sheets and everything else, and they're happy with the results to date. So, it's just a matter of time till we start to see another run, and when this time, hopefully, it'll be more sustainable and not a rapid run up and a rapid run down. As much as I like to see the stock go up, the rapid runs are always prone to corrections, and so the more you can just ease the stock up on results, the better off the shareholders are. They don't get whipsawed. The new shareholders coming in are not paying exorbitant prices, and but it's volume that attracts buyers, and so I can't blame them for jumping on the ship. They read what they can. They say these guys have got it, and they buy the stock, only to get caught in a downdraft. And some of the guys that have been caught have been in contact with me, and but they really like the process, and they're going to hold the course, and hopefully they've averaged down a little bit in this last rundown. We've had quite a significant rundown. We seem to be steady here in the $1.15 to $1.20 range. So it may be an excellent entry point. I'm not recommending that that's an entry point, but somewhere along the line, there's got to be a area where the entry point is going to be significant for the shareholder in the long run. And it's an exciting situation that we're in. There's always news. That's why I'm able to do these podcasts. I go through, I was going through 400, 600, now 800 emails. A lot of them can be deleted immediately, but if you don't follow the industry you're in, then you're prone to miss out on a few things. And so I try to follow everything about our company. So that's why I spend, half my weekend going through emails and answering them, or, just putting, saving them for the next podcast. And, I can't say enough about what's happening in Europe. They're building gigafactories all over the place. Certainly you know about our MOU with the one in Italy, and that one will, these new gigafactories are looking at building a recycling facility on site as part of the plant. And so, we've been looking into that. We've been contacted by other European gigafactory proponents, and and thanks to our new advisor, Johan, that these meetings have taken place, and so we're in excellent shape, Jim. We're in excellent shape financially. We're moving along on the 2.7 million. And, hopefully our timeline to complete everything in that is 18 months, and within 6 months to a year, we had hoped to have a commercial plant. So, it's the timing's perfect. I mean, it couldn't be more perfect. I mean, these gigafactories are being announced almost daily. You're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars that are going into gigafactories. And you read very little about the money that's going into recycling. Well, we've spent money as a small company. We've spent all our money on advancing those projects, and luckily, we're also involved with the Defense Logistics Agency on the Wendon stockpile. Stockpile, of course, is there for when if anything happens, it closes the borders or anything like that, they have at least a stockpile to process the manganese through, and that would be a stepping stone for us to go after the one area that we have down in the Tillery Peak range that is a little, the drilling there has been a little higher than the average drilling. And it would require a little more drilling, not that great of expense, maybe $1 million to $2 million to get a resource there. So we got a lot of things on our plate. We were looking at a spin out, but to be very honest with you, I expect that we'll be announcing that we're going to not go through with the spin out. It's not a incentive. There's no incentive there to do it. So all it does is increase the overhead around here, and and I don't think you'll get as big a bang out of the shares you would receive in the spin out as compared to the shares that you already have in American Manganese, because we're going after a big target there, and if it hits, it could have a significant effect alongside of the recycling process and the manganese process and everything else. I mean, how big a spread do you want in a small company? I mean, we're trading at $1.23 today, and it's a small company with 3 excellent projects. So, people should also look at that aside from the recycling. Recycling is the biggest advantage out there, and I love it. So that's kind of where we're at, Jim.
Now, Larry, we have a new segment on our podcast called Ask Larry, and today you have a question about insider selling.
Yes, and unfortunately I've already gone through that, and that was basically emails that I was getting, gleaned from the CEO and the bull boards, and when I look at the insider selling in American Manganese, it's a lot less than most of these companies that do nothing. So, I've explained that, and I think it's a non-event. Sure, it looks bad for an insider to sell some shares, especially at the progress that we are. But there's various reasons for selling shares, and I have already gone over some of those. And I won't be apologizing for myself because, like I say, I'm close to a net buyer of 1 million shares, which makes me happy. And, because I had to sell 1 million shares at 2 cents. Nobody said anything about that when I had to pay our listing fees back in 2015. So it's it's something that I don't feel I should have to defend, but I think I should explain.
Larry, for people new to American Manganese, what is the company all about? Where are you traded, and how can they get more information about the company? American
Manganese is a company that developed resources in the Artillery Peak Range. Through the expenditure of tens of millions of dollars, we developed the resource. We brought in a solution to actually save water. And that's one thing I never mentioned is that, we have a system of processing the manganese ore, and you know that Arizona's a desert, so water is hard to come by, where we reuse the water, and we make a dry tailings at the end of the day that can be backfilled. So we've been thinking environmentally for quite some time. The company's, this is not its first rodeo on environmental aspects. And certainly our process with recycling is another example of what we can do. And that recycling process came off of the cornerstone of that was our manganese patent. We hold approximately 5 or 6 patents now in 4 or 5 different countries, and we've got applications in for 6 more. So that's the nutshell of what the company's all about. You can find anything you want because we're very transparent, and every step we've made we've announced, and it's on our website at www.americanmanganese.com, or you can phone the office here at 778-574-4444, or email me at LREAUGH@AMYMN.com. We're traded on the Toronto Venture Exchange under the symbol AMY. We're traded in the U.S. under the QB under the symbol AMYZF. And we're traded in Frankfurt under the symbol 2AM.
Larry, thank you so much for the update.
You're very welcome, Jim.
I've been speaking with Larry Reaugh, CEO and President of American Manganese. I'm Jim Goddard. Our conversation took place on April 23rd.
Comments made on Company Showcase are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any manner whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Archived online at HowStreet.com. Company Showcase is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.